Good morning, everyone, and have a nice day. Welcome to Renz Garcel channel, Liwanag episode. For today, we have a special segment that would be shared to you. It is about the sharing of young people, especially on the concern on the environment. This is in response to the challenge of the encyclical letter of Pope Francis on Laudato Si, on the care of the creation. Kaya sana po tayong lahat ay matuto at tayo din po ay maging tagapangalaga at tagapagprotekta ng ating kalikasan. Kaya sa episode or segment po na ito ay matutunghayan natin ang mga boses ng ating mga kabataan sa modernong panahon po natin na sila din po ay nagpapahayag ng kanilang boses para sa pagprotekta ng ating kalikasan dahil ang ating kalikasan ay ito po ang ating pinakatahanan. Kung sinisira po natin ang ating environment, ang ating kalikasan, sinisira din po natin ang ating mga tahanan na siyang tagapangalaga at tagaprotekta din po sa ating kapakanan. Kaya tunghayan po natin at sana tapusin natin hanggang sa huli ang panonood ng ating video po na ito dahil ito po ay pinaghirapan ng ating mga kabataan para ibahagi po sa kanilang mga kaklase at ngayon po ay binabahagi po namin sa inyong lahat na nanonood. Kaya sana po ay ma-appreciate po natin ito. Manood po tayo hanggang sa huli ng video po ito. Maraming salamat po at introduction lang po muna tayo.
One of the biggest challenges we face today. Greenhouse gases are thought to be the main contributor into the climate change, as it is very efficient in trapping the heat in the atmosphere. Humans contributes by burning fossil fuels and it increases the gases in the atmosphere. Frequency of heavy downpour has increased. In many regions, flood and water quality problems are likely to be worse. Our food supplies depends on the climate change and weather conditions. As there are changes like increased temperature, water stress, and weather extreme create challenges to our farmers and ranchers who put foods on our table. Ecosystems are also affected by climate change. Plants are being modified. The timing of events such as flowering, egg laying are shifting, and species are alternating their home ranges. Things that we depend upon and value: water, energy, transportation, wildlife, agriculture, ecosystem, and human health are experiencing the effects of a changing climate.
One thing that pollutes not our planet but us people and the world we revolve in is the digital revolution. It stops us from learning how to live wisely, to think deeply, and to love generously. We tend to favor virtual relationships over having deep, meaningful, and real relationships, as we have the choice to accept or deny, which leads us into isolation. A whole family can stay and live in the same house, yet live like single people, because this revolution breaks down many relationships and our sense of community. While we can maintain relationships and friendships in distant states and countries, it breaks down all of those friendships which are not actively fostered in the digital realm. When you get on a bus or train full of people on their smartphones, it reveals the sad truth that everyone is connected, but only to those whom they choose to connect with, to accept or reject, making us dissatisfied with true, deep relationships, or give rise to a new sense of isolation. It tears down the idea that we live in a community, in a special place in the world. It tears down the idea that we need our neighbors in a political level, which prepares for abuse of democracy. We are gifted beyond measure that we live in an age when so much knowledge is available. People abuse the wealth of knowledge. The digital realm encourages passivism rather than discernment. Having information presented on a screen welcomes viewers to sit back, accept the message that is presented, and move on without time for reflection. Digital electronics have a strange way of obscuring the fact and encouraging passive consumerism that actually just and only multiplied the problem.
Poverty is not a consequence of limited global resources but political and economic injustice. However, the poorest people are almost always at greatest risk from environmental damage, climate change, and competition for resources. The effects of unsustainable population hit the poorest first and hardest. The world's poorest countries tend to have the largest family sizes and fertility rates. When people have no economic security and cannot rely on their government and a social safety net, they often have children to ensure they will be looked after when they are older. Where child mortality is high, there is an even greater impetus to have more children. Those circumstances can lead in turn to a culture which values high family size. This understandable human impulse can contribute to a vicious cycle. Poor families with large numbers of dependent children may perceive the need to take out of education early or marry off their daughters young. They will also often live in deprived communities where access to modern family planning is limited. All these factors combine to keep family sizes high. Perpetuating the cycle, the recipe for ending population growth is positive and simple, and also leads to a better quality of life for all.
But we as young people can initiate change. We can build a better future, take matters into our own hands,
and take seriously the environmental crisis
And the sufferings of the poor.
To protect our common home, we need a common plan. The whole human family needs to work together so that we may sow beauty.
not pollution and destruction, to reduce climate change. Transportation is one of the sources of greenhouse gases. Hybrid cars are used more electricity than gasoline, thus help reduce carbon dioxide emission. Instead of throwing excess waste into the atmosphere, increasing the amount of carbon dioxide, one can instead buy products with minimal packaging. There are also trees that can absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. One tree can absorb around 1 ton of carbon dioxide. To increase people awareness about the effects of greenhouse gases, various programs and policies have to be set help with information and knowledge sharing.
Lift people out of poverty. Provide universal access to modern family planning and quality education. Empower women. Encourage and incentivize smaller families.
As it links individuals and groups together and communicate real-time with others in distant corners of the world, it allows us to have a world of all online opportunities, even from just beginning in a bedroom with a single laptop. We can start anew as we connect and deliver to even different kinds of people all over the world to make a better place. In the world and love for our neighbors into action by living together in harmony with one another, caring for nature, and getting involved with society and economics.
Issue ng ating kalikasan na lahat po sana tayo ay magtulong-tulong, maging isa at mag-participate sa advokasya, pangalaga ng ating environment o kalikasan. Dahil po dito nakasalalay ang kinabukasan ng ating mga pamilya at kinabukasan ng bansa at kinabukasan ng sanlibutan. Kaya sana po lahat tayo ay maging protector or lahat po tayo ay maging isang kilusan para buo po nating isang pamilya na pinapangalagaan ang ating kalikasan. Dahil dito po nakasalalay ang kinabukasan ng ating bansa at kinabukasan po ng buong mundo. Para ang mga sunod na henerasyon ay masilayan po ang kagandahan ng nilikha ng Diyos at kagandahan po ng sanlibutan. Kaya sana po patuloy po nating panoorin ang Renz Garcel channel, Liwanag Episodes, lalo na po sa segment po natin na ito na pinapakinggan at tayo po ay nakikinig sa boses ng ating mga kabataan. Maraming salamat po at sana po huwag ninyong kalimutan na i-like, share, and subscribe ang channel po na ito dahil patuloy po kaming magbabahagi sa inyo ng mga magagandang topics na makakatulong po at magbibigay liwanag sa atin sa lahat ng mga issue na ating kinakaharap. Maraming salamat sa inyong panunood. Mega love shout out po sa lahat ng loyal subscribers and silent viewers. Lalo na po ang mga teams na tumutulong po sa atin, ang Team Lulaan, Team Honest, Team Biherang Ilongga, Team Achievers, Team Payaman, at Team Pinoy Core. Sana po lahat po tayo ay patuloy na magtulungan at sana po tayo po ay patuloy na magkakaisa. Maraming salamat and may God bless us all. Good day to everyone.